Good morning, traders. Manny Cabrera here, co-founder of MDC Trading Academy, with today's pre-market forecast and preview of the week for today, Monday, October the 14th. Quickly jump to our news items for this week. It looks like a heavy calendar, but in fact there isn't very much. The only two important things we're going to look at here is probably 11 o'clock on Thursday. We're talking about the crude oil inventories. Everything else happens throughout the week, happens before. All of these members of the FOMC, of the federal bank, are not really doing much for us. Simply, we don't really pay attention to them unless Jerome Powell is speaking. Also remember that this week is the beginning of an options expiration week, just to add more complication to October. So just to keep that in the back of your mind. Let's quickly jump to our analysis chart, beginning with our daily chart. As we can see, market has recovered quite a bit since we hit the 200 SMA. We had a quick run, retracement, another run. We ended up to the positive side on Friday, but way down from where we opened. From where we were. We went way up there. Our high for that day was a big range, 29.94. We're at 29.94, just 6 points off 3,000, but we pulled all the way back. We were positive, but slightly, and we ended up closing above the 20 SMA. So the market opens a little lower with another huge range. We went up as high as, we went as high as 20.90-250. Our low was 29.53. We're talking about almost 19 points, almost 29 points. So that's a huge range. Our volume is still good at 1.2 as an average. What are we expecting today? Well, we're holding here the 200, the 20 SMA, and both the 80 SMA are our resistance support right now. So that's the bottom line. When you want to look at market as a whole, what are we thinking about today? Well, there's our high of the day. There's our low of the day so far intraday. That's our range. So anything can happen within those days. What we're trying to find out is clues of which direction more than likely the market is going to be moving. For that, we use a larger range chart. Remember, we look at these larger range charts because we have a lot of volume and a lot of volatility, like I've been mentioning. The more movement we have, we need to see more bars in a short amount of period. And what you see here is we broke the compression. The market is coming right back to retest the former resistance, is coming to retest the former resistance, this area of resistance here, plus this trend line to the downside. That's our key support area. That's a very key support area. Market breaks through there. You're expecting it to move much lower, right back to this trend line here. And we also have a longer term trend line back here, but the market has a lot of areas of potential hold. What we're expecting initially is to come to retest sometime up here throughout the day, but first we need to see what happens with this retracement. So that's what it is. Remember, these types of markets are a little bit more complex when you add options expiration as another element. So now what we have here is we have a trend line that we have been respecting and a compression from the upside. So there you go. You have a double top up here. We have compression to the downside, compression to the upside. So somewhere along the line, this market is going to have to move this way or this way. That's what we're expecting to see. Which way is going to move first? It all depends on the tests. First tests, second test. It depends on those tests there. What happens in between there? Well, let's look closely at our trade chart, and we'll be able to see a little bit more of a panorama of what we can potentially see in this market. So if you see here, market has moved down, and right now we're below the intraday low of the previous day, which is Friday. So our initial assessment is if we fail to retest, if the retest fails here, we're expecting the market to quickly jump down here to retest this area here. These are the two key areas in the market, as I mentioned, but here you can see a little bit closer. It's this trend line up here to the downside, this trend line to the upside. Those are our key areas. So our first attempt will probably be to the downside. Probably it may try to retest up here. If that fails as it did previously, then we're expecting a little bit lower moving. So keep your eyes open for that. Remember, it's options expiration week. These weeks are a little bit extra bit of volatility, and it's also another variable to our trading equation, which is not always necessarily part of our trading equation. So keep your eyes open for that. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great trading session.